Today's video is going to be around setting up an employee, all the basic information that goes around inputting the employee and getting them working on True ERP. Cool, so the first thing we're going to do is select employee here and select create new employee. This is going to open up the employee card. All the basic and relevant information around the employee will be put into these tabs over here, but we'll start off with the employee's basic information. So let's go ahead and create one. Mr. John Smith, initials JS, telephone number. All of this here is optional information. If there is an alternate telephone number, you can do that. A fax number, mobile number, even a Skype address. If you want, you can just fill that all out whenever you need. And then departments, default departments. This is going to be for the employee is designated to one area of the company. So the company can be split up into cost centers or departments. So just go ahead and select, if you do have different departments, which one he will or she will belong to. Okay. The start date of the employee, when did they start? Employee number, you can put that in if you like, that is optional. And the position of the employee. So we can say operations, director, manager, anything you want. Okay, next of kin, relationship status, and their phone number. In this as well is show on the roster. If you want the employee to show on the roster, and the roster being this screen here, which allows you to dedicate time and date to what they will be doing. So there is a video on this, but that is what the roster will look like. So go ahead and just add them to the roster. Make sure that is ticked there. Their date of birth. In this screen, you can simply plus or minus on the day, month or year, instead of having to go into the calendar itself. This is a real quick way to do that. So just plus or minus on your keyboard to alter these numbers here. Okay. Once that's set up, this is pretty much the basic information around the employee. We want to go to set up their address information now. So literally just go ahead and click on the address and start typing out their physical address where they stay. So Waterfall Street. Go ahead and select the suburb where they're from. So here, and this will auto-populate the information following it. You can set this up yourself, and then this pretty much populates all this data here. So the state or the province, postcode, and country. Okay. Area number if you want to. An address. This is going to be the email address either for the employee's address or for the employee's system address. So if they have a private email employee address, it can be just their normal email. Very original email address, that one. Track emails if you choose. In the email configuration, so all the income, where it's coming in from, the mail server, the server port, and the outgoing, and then the username and password. But for now we won't get into that. And then Google Calendar. We want everyone to be linked within the calendar. That is obviously optional. We do recommend you do that, and that's going to be for this main calendar here for Google. So we can go ahead and set up the address there if you like, with the password, and then make sure the sync with Google is clicked. If it's not ticked and you go into Google Calendar, if you have put information in appointments or designated time on certain dates within the calendar, it will not show throughout the company. If this is not ticked, it will not sync. So make sure once this information is been put in, you click sync with Google Calendar and then just run a test. So once this is done, pretty much all the basic information has been filled in. You can add documents in here, you can add skills and attachments, photo ID, literally all the information you've put in, you just click print photo ID, and this populates with the employee ID or employee card. This can be designed in any way you want it to be designed. This is just a default setting we have in, or a default report. You can go and design this to suit your company's needs if you choose so. What we'll do now with the employee is set up a password and login details so that they can start using the system. So literally what we do there is we just click on password here, and we can set up a login name for this Mr. John Smith. So just go ahead and put in the login name, whichever name you choose. I'll just say John, and we'll give John a password. Now with this here, setting up the access levels, this will allow him to use certain functions within the software and whether he has access to them or not. So just go ahead and click access levels. This will open up access level screen, which allows you to select what levels of access he has for what criterias. So in other words, allow invoice stock to negative, he has access to full with delete. What we tend to recommend is that if you want to give employees access levels, we recommend you copy from another employee. So if we were to say copy from this individual, excellent, this will auto-populate all his settings that he has within ERP, and will give him those settings that he will be able to use these functions here. Or if you choose, you can manually go through it and simply double click on the fields that are relevant. What we tend to recommend is that most employees in the company will either have mainly create and read read only. Only a few people in the company should have full with delete. So what we're going to do now is just select full with delete for everything. You can also click on a default option here. So if you want all of the options to be create and read, simply just click all and create and read. Or if you want to full with delete, okay, then just go ahead and save that. ERP will now then close and reopen, saving the information that you just put in. Okay, so now we've set up the individuals or the employees' access levels. We've given him a login name as well as a login password. So just go ahead and save that. John Smith has no modules assigned for training. Do you wish to assign training modules? We're not going to do that now. There is a video on training. If you are at that step, go ahead and watch that video now. But for now, we're going to say no. Okay. There we go. Employee saved. You can now go into the employee list, which is just below that, and literally go and see the employee that you just created. There we are, being John Smith. Again, wherever you see data, double click and that'll open it back up to the information that makes that up. So the employee card we just created, he has everything we have right here. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and save that, get out of there. Now, a great feature within True ERP is having the personal preferences set. So we suggest the next the next part of this will be to set up your personal preferences, which is here. So just go ahead and click that. Now there's a couple main things when setting up an employee, and a couple main things within the preferences that you need to go over. First of all, I just want to touch on the payroll access. Again, there is a video on this, but if you click on payroll access, that will open up the employee card with all the payroll information, like so. So in the previous card we never had all of these, but from hours they've done, leave accruals, pay details, all of that information will be right here. So just make sure, let's go ahead and exit there. So on that personal preference, whether you want access or not to payroll access, that is this function over here. Okay. The other important thing to look at is the list of default date range for the employee. So if they were to look at any sort of list within ERP, the days past will be 30 days or 60 days, and days forward could be 5 or 10. So that'll just be the default date range in any list that they open up within True ERP. That will be set as a default date range to auto-populate. Okay. The other major thing is that days in advance for reminders, that is literally going to be in this preference over here. So these will be all, you would select all of these if you want reminders enabled for appointments or customer loyalty programs or marketing contacts. So if you want reminders to appear in advance, go ahead and select which ones you want added to that. And then the number next to it, these will be for the days prior for the employee to do what needs to be done. So these will show in the reminders, again, days prior to what needs to be done. So however many days, put them in over here. And then also don't show reminders after 90 days. These are all optional, but obviously if the reminder is 90 days overdue, then that has been long forgotten and should have been done a long time ago. So you can go ahead and set this to 20 days or 5 days, but for now we just put it in as 90 days. And then the other information is just roster and calendar clock, displayed 24 hours, and that's pretty much it. Again, you can go through and just double check all these preferences to suit your employees' needs. Just go ahead and save that. Cool. And that's pretty much it. The last other thing we want to look at is the reminders for the employee. These will be the pop-ups for the employees. There's that 90 days overdue. It will not go past that. And literally within this employee's reminders, simply just double click and it will populate to what needs to be done. So the company was Emulator South Africa, the details Mr. Jones. There is a follow-up to be done. Confirm with Simone the meeting dates. So I need to contact this individual and set up those meeting dates. Just go ahead and save. So yeah, that's pretty much how to set up an employee. Real simple, real quick. Thanks for watching.